Hey there guys, in today's video I take you on a brief tour of a 1,000 square foot mixed species walk-through aviary. So if that's something you guys want to see, go ahead and stick around because that's going to be coming up right after this. This is Jack over at Hi Redbird, where I am tirelessly working to find new ways to make the keeping of exotic animals and pets more exciting, more affordable, and ultimately more enjoyable. Now, the other day, I was very lucky to be asked by the Beak Coalition to put together a live stream educational session that they were sharing for the week of National Pet Bird Day, which is September 17th. Now, part of that was supposed to include a tour of my walk-through aviary, which is a 1,000 square foot mixed species aviary. Unfortunately, technology decided that that wasn't going to happen at that time, so I wanted to put together a video so you guys could take a brief tour of the aviary. Now, if you guys like this video, obviously you can like the video, but if you want to see a little bit more of the video, if you want to see a little bit more of the ways that I work with so many different species in such a space, since it is a little bit different than keeping your average pet bird, go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section below telling me that that's what you want to see.
All right, guys, so here is the entrance to this walk-through aviary. It is 30 feet by 32 feet, so it is almost 1,000 square feet. And as you can see, we have a rose-breasted cockatoo coming up to say hi. Now, one of the first things I want to point out about this enclosure, you'll notice on the sides when you come in, we do have a variety of different cages. Now, this is a mixed species aviary. There's a wide variety of birds in here, so having the ability to separate birds if there is ever any aggression is a great thing to have. Also, when you get new birds, these are typically called howdy cages. You have the ability to introduce birds where they can see each other without directly interacting with each other, so they can get used to each other's presence. You can also see we've got some fantail pigeons. I absolutely love watching those guys try to fly because they are not very good at it at all. Now, this enclosure was designed to be a walk-through aviary to give children the opportunity to interact with a variety of different cetacean species. And normally they're very, very interactive, but the phone and the tripod that's balancing it are a little bit upsetting. Now, one of the reasons we have a variety of species in here, you can see that pair of Quakers right there. This is actually the tail end of Quaker nesting season for us here in Houston. So by having a variety of different species, we can catch different birds at different times of the year. The ones that are wanting to focus on nesting can obviously do that without really needing to be able to interact with people. They can focus on what they want to do. Now, the rose-breasted cockatoo in there, he likes to think he is the star of this enclosure. That is a bird that usually spends most of his time on my head, at least when I am in the aviary. Now, this is also a planted aviary. One of the nice things about having a large outdoor space like this is that we can grow trees. These are mulberry trees for the most part. The top of this enclosure is going to be about 16 feet tall. It is made out of repurposed greenhouse hoops. Now, one of the things we do is we have a barrier fence around the pathway. That way, the birds that like to be on the ground can be on the ground without having difficulty from being chased by children or interacting with children if they don't want to. We do have feeding platforms in a variety of different ways. Now, we do provide pelleted diets 24/7. And we also have produce diets that are going to go out every single day, be pulled by the end of the day. One of the main considerations we have to make about this enclosure is trying to eliminate pests. So we have things like the peafowl that are going to be on the ground. Now, the peafowl are wonderful in a variety of different ways. Not only will they clean up the food that the parrots throw on the ground, which parrots do tend to do, but they are also great at pest control. They are going to eat all manner of insects. They will eat rodents. They will even go for small snakes. Now, unfortunately, at this time of year, My peacock in here, Bash, this guy right here, he has actually just dropped the majority of his tail feathers. Peafowl do grow new tail feathers every single year. So unfortunately, he is not as attractive as he normally is, but he's still a pretty good looking bird. Now we also have a variety of different parrots, some of which are scared of me in the camera right now, some of which could not care less. So there you can see we have green-cheeked conures, we have cockatiels, we have budgies. All of the birds in here are going to be birds that we recommend as introductory pet species. So smaller birds with a good amount of personality, but that aren't too difficult to care for. And the entire time you can hear the rose-breasted cockatoo begging for attention. He would probably be the most difficult bird to care for in this enclosure. Now you can see in the back under that sheltered area, that's where I have a PVC pipe feeder. That's where we have a pelleted diet available 24/7. So the great thing about this enclosure is the path is very, very simple and straightforward. Kids can walk through. Because of the trees that we have growing in this aviary, they get to experience birds as birds are meant to be. They are often hiding in those trees, and since so many parrot species are going to be predominantly green, the green-cheeked conures have a lot of green, the Quakers have a lot of green, a lot of the budgies come in shades of green and yellow. So one of the fun things is when they are all hiding in this dense growth of trees, kids will say they see no birds, and then they'll pick out one, and then they'll pick out two, and all of a sudden they'll realize there are 12 birds sitting in the tree right next to them that they didn't even notice when they first walked in. The other great thing is the way that this is done with the plantings in the center and the walkway around the outside. That does give space for the birds to fly around the entire enclosure. So you get the opportunity to see birds flying overhead as well, which is absolutely magnificent. Birds in flight is one of the prettiest things you will ever see. Now that having this dense planting in the center also serves as a visual barrier. Having so many different parrot species in one enclosure can be a little bit of a problem when it comes to things like aggression. You want to make sure that there is enough space for all of your birds. You want to make sure that there are enough nesting sites for all of your birds, because they will fight over those nesting sites. Having this dense growth of trees is going to help them, because sometimes they just can't see each other, and that is a really good thing to have. Now on both the entrance and the exit, we do have a safety room. That's just going to help to keep birds inside. There's no risk of the birds being able to fully escape. And we do also utilize safety chains on both of the doors. That way when we open the doors, birds can't just fly out through the opening. So this is my walkthrough aviary. Sorry if there's been a couple jumps with the camera. I did just finish running the sprinkler in here. One of the nice things about having an outdoor space like this is that you can have things like a sprinkler to enrich your birds. They have all of the access to the outside. One of my favorite things to do is when the trees start dropping leaves, to rake up all the leaf litter and hide bits of fruit or bits of seed in that, and to let them forage around for that. So I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed this quick look into this 1,000-square-foot walkthrough aviary. I do need to say thank you to my Patreon patrons for helping to make these videos possible. You can find out more by visiting Hi Red Bird on Patreon or clicking the link in the description section down below if you would like more information. Thanks!